Hello everybody and welcome to the day 147 recap of the 2016-2017 NBA season. As you guys can see, we do have a bit to talk about today, so without further delay, let the day 147 recap begin.
What's going through your mind at that moment?
Ain't nothing going through my mind. Protecting my teammates. That's what's going through my mind.
What was kind of your view of what caused it, or?
I don't know. I think Curry tried to get into it with Samaj, try to push him, and I stepped right between. And that's it. Once I see something going down with my teammates, I'm hopping in.
It finally got real last night. Thunder vs Warriors, no KD, but it still went down. As the second quarter was winding down in last night's game, there was a jump ball. And during that jump ball, this happened.
Second half, that kind of
it's getting physical. Oh. It's getting physical.
My goodness.
It's getting physical.
Well, that definitely got the crowd's attention.
Getting heated.
And that was off the jump ball. Fighting over position.
I just see a fight involving Stephen Curry and Russell Westbrook. So it started when Samaj Christian and Stephen Curry got tangled up. You know, Curry tries to get away by yanking away his arm, gives a slight shove, and then fronts Samaj. Russell then immediately gets involved, followed by Draymond Green for the Warriors, and everyone else gets in on the little pushing match. And then Russ, Steph, Green, and Samaj all end up with techs, to which Curry responds by hitting a three as time runs out in the half and then walking off the court. Realistically, guys, this was nothing too serious. It wasn't that big of a fight, more of just people getting upset with each other and then people coming to their teammates' aid. Curry tries to get Christian off of him, was like, yo, back up. Then Russ gets mad at that, and then, you know, it escalates from there a little bit. But that being said, these teams obviously don't like each other. It doesn't matter if they won't come out to the media and say it to themselves. We see it and we know it. These teams don't like each other. They didn't like each other much last year when Kevin Durant was still on the Thunder, and they sure as heck don't like each other now that Kevin Durant switched sides and went to the Warriors. And I think it will be this way for a very long time. Speaking of not liking each other, the Boston Celtics are holding a 2008 championship team reunion. You know, this is the championship team that featured the big three of Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce. And everyone is invited. Kendrick Perkins, Paul Pierce, Brian Scalabrine, James Posey, KG, Rondo, Big Baby Davis. They even went as far as to invite E.T. So everyone except for Ray Allen. And the reason for this is quite simple.
I don't have Ray's number anymore. I'm not trying to communicate. Just being honest with everybody.
Now, Allen, of course, was originally part of that big three until he switched sides in 2012 and joined the enemy team in the Miami Heat back when they had their big three. And Rajon Rondo commented on the situation in front of the media by saying this: I don't know a good analogy to put this in. It just wasn't the greatest separation. It wasn't the greatest thing that could have happened to us as a team, a bond. We were at war with those guys. To go to the enemy, that's unheard of in sports. Well, it's not so unheard of. It's pretty common now. I think we all know who he was referring to with that last remark. Rondo also asked some of the other guys on the team whether or not he should invite Ray Allen, and they basically told him,
Who is he?
no, we good with what we got. We don't need to invite him. One of the main topics around the NBA this season has been the resting of superstars. The problem is with fans going to the game, spending all of this money to go see their players they want to see play, and then it turns out that when they get to the game, they announce, yo, that player, by the way, he's not playing. Thank you for your money. Enjoy the D-League game we have to present to you. And it also hurts the TV ratings for the games, especially when the games are nationally televised. For example, I'm sure that Cavs vs Clippers game had to have some of the worst ratings of an NBA game in a very long time. And it was after that game that a lot of people in the league started to speak up. Clippers coach Doc Rivers coming out and saying that something needs to be done about it. Hall of Famer Karl Malone absolutely blasting players for it. LeBron saying that it's simply part of the game.
Coach's job is to figure out a way that their team can compete for a championship, not compete for a game, you know, and obviously, you know, it sucks at times, you know, because certain games you only play in certain cities once, or you play certain teams once on their home floor, you know, and I wanted to play last night, but my coach, you know, felt like it was best that I didn't play last night, so I'm gonna go with my coach.
And now Adam Silver sent a memo to teams basically telling teams to chill out on resting players and calling it a problem for the league. In this memo, he also told teams that there will be significant penalties if they don't announce that a certain player won't be playing in advance. This seems like a temporary fix. He did also go on in the article to say that there is no easy solution and they may never be able to find like a permanent solution to stop the resting, as there is a correlation between stress and injuries. And he basically said, would you rather see your favorite player rest or see them get injured? But we all know the fix would be to shorten the NBA season, but the league just isn't going to do that. That is too much money for the NBA to lose. This is just something that I think we as fans are going to have to get used to, because I don't see it going away. And that about wraps up all the news and extras from last night. Now let's jump straight into the games. I really want the Thunder to be able to match the Warriors talent-wise somehow, so this can become an actual rivalry instead of just two teams that don't like each other. Not taking anything away from OKC, they're still a good team, but they simply can't compete with the Warriors as it stands, and Golden State sweeps the season series 4-0 with the 111-95 win. Klay Thompson scored 34 and Stephen Curry added 23 points and 6 assists for the Warriors, while Westbrook had 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists for the Thunder. This matchup is kind of considered a rivalry in today's NBA. It doesn't have the intensity of the Golden State versus OKC, but the teams are closer together talent-wise at least. And yesterday, Isaiah Thomas returned to action after missing Boston's previous 2 games with a bruised knee. He scored 25 in his return, and the Celtics get the win this time, 110-102. Avery Bradley also had 20 points and 9 rebounds, and Al Horford had 16 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists for the Celtics. Major props to the Denver Nuggets. It doesn't matter how good their opponents are, they are always right there up until the very end. Sometimes they win and sometimes they lose. Last night though was one of the times where they had to hold the L real quick. 125-124 was the final score, with Houston coming away with the nail-biting win. And it was thanks to James Harden sprinting down the court to hit a layup with 2 seconds remaining that Houston got that win. And Harden had another monster game of 39 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds, and 4 steals, while Nikola Jokic had 22 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 assists for Denver. Gary Harris also added 28, and Will Barton had 24 off the bench. The Hawks simply can't win without their all-star big man Paul Millsap. Probably doesn't help either that now they're without Kent Bazemore as well. They dropped their 4th game in a row last night with a 105-90 loss to the Hornets. Kemba Walker and Nick Batum each scored 16 for the Hornets, while Dennis Schroeder had 20 points for the Hawks. The Knicks pretty much doomed their chances of winning last night with a slow start to the 3rd quarter. In the 3rd quarter, New York was outscored by 15 and would head into the 4th down 25. The Knicks reserves did do their best to overcome that deficit, but it was just too much, as the Clippers get the 114-105 win. Blake Griffin scored 30 for LA, while Chris Paul had 13 points and 13 assists. Porzingis and Rose each scored 18 for New York. The Jazz have hit a little bit of a rough patch. Prior to last night, Gordon Hayward had been struggling to find a shot, which of course would make it harder for the Jazz to win. However, last night Hayward was pure flames, and yet the Jazz still fell to Indiana 107-100. Jeff Teague led Indiana with 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, and Paul George also contributed 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. Like I said, Gordon Hayward did have a great game with 38 points, while Gobert had 16 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 blocks for the Jazz. Both these teams are headed to the lottery, and in terms of records, they are extremely close. So this was a very important game for both teams, as neither of them should have wanted to win. But that goes against the athlete's natural competitive spirit, and it was because of that competitive spirit that this game wound up going into overtime, and the Sixers would be both the winners and the losers of this overtime battle, as they lose the game 112-109, but win in terms of the fact that they now have a 26-44 record, while the Magic have a 26-45 record. Nikola Vucevic had 26 points and 13 rebounds, and Aaron Gordon had 17 for Orlando. On the other hand, 3 players scored at least 20 for Philly. Rashawn Holmes and Robert Covington each scored 24, and Nick Stauskas had 20 off the bench. And that about wraps up all the action for the day 147 recap of the 2016-2017 NBA season, and now it's time to get into the player of the day. Yesterday, you guys selected Damian Lillard and his 49 points and 5 assists as your player of the day, and here are today's nominees. You have Nikola Vucevic and his 26 points and 13 rebounds. James Harden and his 39 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds, and 4 steals. Klay Thompson and his 34 points, or Blake Griffin and his 30 points and 6 rebounds. As always, you guys can go vote for the player of the day right now. The link to the poll will be in the description box down below, but other than that, thank you guys once again for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like on it and subscribe if you haven't already for more daily NBA videos. And until tomorrow, keep getting the buckets, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace. Peace.